You ever get that feeling when someone's watching you? Not from across the street, but from a window you just walked past. That was me on Halloween night, 2009. I was 10 years old, dressed up like a skeleton astronaut with my best friend Evan. We thought we were just out for candy. Turns out, we'd walked straight into someone's game. Halloween was everything to us back then. The costumes, the sugar rush, the sense that the whole world turned strange for one night. We lived in Cochrane, Alberta, on a quiet cul-de-sac called Birchwood Drive, where every house looked like it was built from the same mold, modest, friendly, safe. Behind our neighborhood stretched nothing but farmland, rolling into black spruce forest. You could walk for hours and not hit a fence. That night, my mom told my sister Kayla to drive Evan and I over to the nice side of town. You know, the new builds up near Sunset Ridge, where the people handed out full-size chocolate bars. We loaded into Kayla's old minivan, me, Evan, and 2 empty pillowcases ready to be filled with loot.
We had our system down. Kayla would drop us at one end of a street. We'd run house to house, and she'd idle at the other end with the headlights cutting through the fog. Then we'd hop back in and move on. For 2 hours, it was perfect. The streets were alive with kids, the smell of wet leaves and pumpkin candles in the air, jack-o'-lanterns flickering through the mist. Then around 9:15 p.m., things got quieter. Houses started turning their porch lights off. The air felt heavier, colder. We decided we'd hit just one last street before calling it a night. That's when I noticed him. Halfway down the block, I looked across the street and saw a man standing perfectly still in his driveway. He wasn't a dad waiting for kids or someone walking a dog. He was just standing there. His clothes were tattered, hanging loose on him, and his face was painted, but not in any pattern that made sense. Just streaks of pale makeup across his cheeks and lips. I thought maybe he was part of some creepy yard display, until his head tilted just slightly toward us. I looked away fast, pretending I hadn't seen him. When we finally got to his house a few minutes later, the lights were off. Evan whispered, "Maybe skip this one?" I almost agreed, but then I remembered the guy standing there. I said, "He's home. Maybe he just forgot to turn the light on." So we walked up the front path, our shoes crunching on frozen leaves. We knocked.
The door opened, and there he was, same man, same face paint, except now he was up close. He stared at us for a few seconds, silent. Then he said, "Come inside." That's it. No smile, no bowl of candy, just those 2 words. Evan and I looked at each other. I laughed nervously and said, "We'll just take candy if you've got some." He blinked once. "Come inside," he said again, slower this time. "You don't have to be scared."
The way he said that, like he wanted us to be scared, made my stomach twist. I glanced past him into the house. No Halloween decorations, no candy, just clutter, and the faint smell of something sour, like rotting fruit. I took a step back. "Thanks anyway," I said. "We're good." That's when he moved. Not toward us, just shifted, like a marionette pulling itself upright. He said our words back to us. Same tone, same inflection. "We're good." We didn't wait. We bolted down the walkway and didn't stop running until we hit the street.
Behind us, we heard the door slam open. Then came footsteps, fast ones. I told myself it was just another Halloween prank, but the sound of those steps, it wasn't playful. It was intentional, rhythmic, angry. We reached Kayla's van and dove in, yelling, "Go, go, go!" She slammed it into drive. I turned back just in time to see him standing at the end of his driveway, his face pale and grinning under the porch light. Then the porch light went out. We tried to laugh it off. 3 kids, overhyped on sugar and adrenaline. Kayla made a U-turn to loop back toward home. But as we passed that house again, we saw his car. It was running now. Headlights snapped on as soon as we drove by. "He's following us," Evan whispered. And he was. We turned left, so did he. We turned right, he matched every move. The subdivision roads were nearly empty, just the sound of tires over gravel and the hum of that car behind us. "Kayla," I said quietly, "don't go home." She nodded, gripping the wheel. We cut toward the main highway and merged onto the 22, headed south out of Cochrane. Only then did his headlights finally fade into the distance.
We never told our parents the full story, just said we'd had a weird night. But every Halloween after that, we skipped that neighborhood. Even years later, driving through Cochrane after midnight, I'd find myself glancing at every parked car, half expecting a pale face behind the glass. Was it a prank? Or did we interrupt something that man didn't want anyone to see? Either way, if a stranger ever tells you to come inside on Halloween night, don't.